Welcome everybody, I'm RJ of The Nerdy Brew, and here on this channel we talk TV, movies, and everything in between, all while drinking a cup of coffee. Now if you like one of those things or all of those things, why don't you consider subscribing and hit that notification bell and becoming a fellow Brewster. So today, fellow Brewsters, this is a coffee talk of Spider-Man No Way Home, and the movie is a third movie inside the MCU, probably the fifth or sixth appearance of Tom Holland as Spider-Man. What other movies he was in? He started in Civil War, which was amazing, and then he had his own movie of Homecoming. It was Infinity War, it was Endgame, and then two other movies. So this was his sixth appearance. And the movie takes place right after the events from Far From Home. And Far From Home takes place right after Endgame, so it's pretty early within the timeline. And he just has to deal with the ramifications. And we saw through the trailers of him dealing with the ramifications of Far From Home and being in a whole big social media, wide media conglomerate world. His personal life gets intruded upon by him becoming now the most famous person in the world, a public figure of Peter Parker being as Spider-Man. So with that being said, he goes to Magic Tony Stark of Doctor Strange, and he tells him that he needs magic spell time difference of people forgetting who he is and his life going back to normal, or they're not dealing with the ramifications of being connected to him. And then reality gets torn up, and we get the old villains from the previous two Spider-Man franchise of Spider-Man Tobey Maguire one and the Andrew Garfield one, and those villains come. And they're there, and they have their own villainous purposes and villainous intent of being in a new universe. Some of them have fluctuating ideologies, but all in all, they're not supposed to be there. Peter, along with MJ and Ned, have and Doctor Strange, if you want to add him in there, but they do have a falling out between Peter and Doctor Strange, so he has to rely on becoming Spider-Man and figuring it out, and that has been his place in all three movies, of him just being a young person and dealing with upheavals that he has to prevail over. And this movie, might I say, was not only the ultimate Spider-Man movie, not only this was an amazing Spider-Man movie, but damn sure it was spectacular Spider-Man movie. You saw what I did there? And with it just being, I feel like for myself, this was the best. It's my second favorite Spider-Man movie after Into the Spider-Verse. I still got a lot of love for Miles and that story and the animation. And this is my favorite MCU movie. I had to think about it. It beat out Infinity War. Infinity War was my favorite. I didn't think anything could top Infinity War, but this movie did it. And I will say that the director of John Watts, he was an amazing director for this movie. Homecoming, absolutely loved it. I love Far From Home. Far From Home was my second favorite Spider-Man movie after Spider-Man 2 at the time. Even though Into the Spider-Verse was out, I just felt like Far From Home was a great sequel and a great second Spider-Man movie after Spider-Man 2. Yo, like he's a very solid, capable director, and I saw his work in Cop Car. I actually own that movie and I liked Cop Car all in itself, and that was his first directorial debut. So he did that, and then now the work that he did as a director of getting all the great performances out of the cast, his fighting choreography, the motions between how Spider-Man was moving, the fights, were very bombastic and visceral, and you could just feel every blow. And he was able to hit those great story beats of balancing out emotion, humor, action to make and great visuals to make it a great solid film. And I felt like Sandman and Jamie Foxx didn't have as much meat to work with, and Lizard. I felt like they didn't have enough to work with, but I felt like throughout their movies they had enough emphasis of character work to go on, so they didn't need to. But I did love how this movie had Tom Holland face Green Goblin, and they fast-tracked it. Like, we didn't have to work through, you know, 5 other more movies for him to make it to Green Goblin. They were able to use the multiverse to bring him back, and they used a fantastic actor to do that with. I'm happen to be a scientist myself. Yo, I loved it. I loved it. I have an iced coffee, by the way. Can y'all see? Yeah. But I absolutely loved it. It seems like Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina didn't skip a beat. They knew what they needed to do. Even though dealing with a different director, they just knew their roles. They knew the characters. That is not a spoiler. There is no spoilers within this that I'm gonna say. There were, the great balancing of jokes and humor, and the transformational work, the water work. And when I was watching this movie, I really just thought how authentic those performances was from the entire cast. I was like, this is why these people get the big bucks. That's why they did all the work that they did to get the money that they're getting to be these A-list actors. Cause I believed it. I believed what they were doing, and I believed who they were, and I believed the story that they were telling, because they were that authentic and believable to the core of the characters, man. I'm just actually bursting out of the seams to try to yell, yo, this was fire, that was fire, this was amazing, that was hot. But I'm not gonna do that, but because I just feel like that, there and I say this about my experience. I absolutely loved my theater. My theater was age varied throughout my theater, and everyone was just involved and invested and clapping and cheering, and you know, all the emotions that the movie was attempting to put you through. That I was in that type of theater. Waterworks with the audience, man, and it was just awesome to be incorporated with all of that. It was just great being not only a movie TV watcher of all the Marvel stuff, but also reading comics. There's great amount of Easter eggs. And I'm not a person to break down or even research or know, oh, this is that. But on the base level, there are so many Easter eggs that was there, like to just pay attention to, that they paid attention to the detail of everything that they were trying to connect. This was just a wonderful theater going experience. It was, as I said, the ultimate spectacular, amazing Spider-Man movie. It's a great continuation of storylines to just understand what the multiverse was. I definitely enjoyed that. There's 2 post-credit scenes. Stay for both of them. They're important, and they're great, and they're needed. They're definitely needed. The 2 post-credit scenes. As I said, man, I give everyone praise. I had to think about it. I have 2 criticisms, and if I told you those criticisms, it would be a major spoiler of the movie, and I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, the movie was awesome. The movie was great. It was great, and I just want y'all to enjoy it too. Yeah. It was an experience. It was an experience. I give this movie a Nerdy Brew grade of a 9.8 because I have 2 criticisms. With all that being said, I'm gonna bring this video to an end. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll be happy to hear from you. And it helps with the channel. It's free charity. You could just leave a 1. And leave your Nerdy Brew or leave your grade for the movie. No spoilers. But if you had general thoughts of talking about the movie, go ahead, let it down. But I'm gonna bring this, or you can put a spoiler tag. put a spoiler tag. Just put spoilers. This is what I have to say, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna bring this video to an end, and I want you to be you, do you, see the bigger picture. Have a fantastic day because you deserve it. This is that channel. Peace.